Hi, everybody. We are from Vista High School. My name is Craig Gastauer. I'm the director of kind of pedagogy and professional development within our school. This is our principal.
Anthony Barela. I'm the principal of Vista High School. Name of our presentation is Transforming a High School. We are a traditional public high school. We have around 2,600 kids, and today we're going to talk about the journey that we're currently on and what that means to transform a public high school.
First off, we were one of the 10 schools lucky enough to win one of the XQ awards, following Stacy, who also was one of the schools who earned that. And what that means is that we really get the chance to rethink what high school should look like. And to give you a little bit of background, we are a public school in Vista Unified School District that's in San Diego County, California. We have 2,600 plus students, many of which are low socioeconomic status, and also students who just are kind of falling through the cracks and often left behind. So one of the things that we really want to do is make sure we build their social emotional awareness, their ability to understand more of who they are and advocate for themselves. And we also want to make sure that all of the classes that they are offered encourage thinking just as much as they do content.
Now, how does this work? This is part of our district star. This is our personalized learning star. When we look at XQ and how that has been very beneficial, it wasn't just our own site that won the XQ. This is helping transform our entire district. Those of you that are educators, you understand this. We want all kids to learn. We want all kids to thrive. We want all kids to succeed. So there are 5 points to the star that are out there, starting with personalized learning path. That's a pathway that students can choose where they have the autonomy to look at what their future looks like. The technological infrastructure, we're attacking the digital divide very aggressively, and we figured out that if we can put a device into a student's hand, that's part of it, but also having connectivity. And we've also found out that the more connectivity we have, it's having multiple students within one household have access to that. Our profile, so we know who our students are, what their strengths, interests, and values are. We're working towards our competency-based. So no longer are we looking at if you're in a seat for a certain amount of time, that means you're ripe, we can pick you and you can move on to next. We're working through our outcomes and what that looks like. And then the environment, very critical. What does it look like? Is it flexible? Is it nimble? Can you move back and forth quickly?
So we always make sure that we recenter on our why, our students. Many of which, if we look at it historically, Vista High School, 30% are guaranteed to have F, or at least 1 or 2 Fs actually, in their first semester of their freshman year. We know we've been failing them, and we need to make sure that we do better.
Now, this is simple, but it's an infographic, and hopefully you can see. On the left-hand side, that is the traditional high school. You will see that, very proud of who you are. We went through a number of iterations with our community and our students, and what you see is the new logo on the right, and that's the students and our community have taken ownership. And we really want them to evolve to make their mark on the world. And if you look at the bottom, it's exploring passions, personalizing learning, and improving our world, because that's the ultimate place that we want to do. But if you think about a student-centered school, they had voice in this entire process with us, and we went through multiple iterations in order to get there. So this is just a show of how we're in the process of transforming our culture on our site.
So from the beginning, we wanted to make sure that our students were really taking a major role within this new redesign. And so starting with student voice, students have the same leverage and impact that any teacher or administrator on our campus has. That's going to be one of our main priorities. 2, students and teachers must be able to co-create the learning experiences, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in just a moment. How to think and act when confronted with a problem. Instead of being that student who comes up, teacher, I have a problem. What would you do if that was the case? How would you start engaging your thinking to make sure that you can move forward regardless of the scenario? We also want to make sure that they start knowing, again, who they are and how to advocate for themselves by discovering more about their strengths, interests, and passions. And so if you move forward, Anthony, our driving question then is right here. How do we create that environment so they can explore their passions, so that they can personalize their learning? And when they leave Vista High School, they have evidence that they have truly impacted the world in a positive manner. So we started with, and go ahead, Anthony, our personalized learning definition. As we started to take a look at what personalized learning was, every single site had a completely different iteration of what that was. So we needed to ground ourselves. So working with the likes of Allison Zamuda, Benna Kalik, Heidi Hayes Jacobs, we came up with this idea that students have to be at the design table, taking a major role. And as they continue through this life within our school, they become more and more the owners of this entire process. That throughout, they continue to use their strengths, passions, and interests, and it has to revolve around authentic challenges. Yes. So our 4 cornerstones start with personalized learning, that they get to help decide the direction of their learning pathways, their learning experiences. But we also know that they are not ready to actually do that yet. I still remember the student who came in with the hello, my name is sticker, and on it said, I deserve the right to be lectured at. They're not willing to just jump into this work right away. We need to teach them the thinking skills that will help them to engage in that sort of work. We've also started taking a look at our curriculum to find out what's antiquated. Remove that from the curriculum so that we can add in contemporary literacies such as digital and media literacies and global literacies. How do we help the students engage in the world? So part of what we're doing is helping our students to examine the UN Sustainable Development Goals, identify problems that are global issues, but at the same time they can act on locally. And as a result, they're going to be able to leave Vista High School with a portfolio of their work from freshman through the senior year, explaining their thought processes, explaining how they engaged in these problems, and have a portfolio of work showing what changes they have truly made in the world. And to make sure we also do that, we have to make sure we layer in the social and emotional well-being. How do we help them to work with one another, to think about their thinking, to make sure that they understand how to go about this in a positive manner?
So our future, this is our ideal state, and you can read that. We want to be a school-wide, where personalized learning and environment where every single student can graduate with purpose and direction. With the support of that, we are going to be co-creating and having kids tap into their strengths and passions.
And by doing that, we truly believe that when they've left Vista High School, they'll be able to say they have explored their passions, they have personalized their learning, and they have made a positive impact on the world. Thank you very much for your time.
Yes, and just like everything else, sorry. Hopefully you've seen the structure. Craig's our internal director, I'm our principal. We have a saying, join the wave. We are Vista every day. Have a great day.